I've played other characters that are super heroic, super villainous, or generally invulnerable. On screen, yes, there's a lot of that tension. Off screen, couldn't be, brothers.
What's scary about a number of these serial killers is that they are living amongst us. And you make choices as an actor, I think, based on that responsibility, that you're reaching people all across the world.
In the world of this show, starts to deteriorate some of yourself and your constitution. Freak out that people even know who I am.
With this story, I was very conscious of the fact that we are also trying to shed light on some of the victims and their stories before they ever crossed paths with John Gacy. Maybe I'm so impressed by the Indian film industry.
Hi, this is Akash Bhatnagar from Hindustan Times. And Gabriel, firstly, welcome to India, I would say, bringing you a warm welcome from all of us Indians. And I would like to start by saying that the story is so gripping and intriguing. And I want to ask you, playing a man who is on the hunt for one of the most notorious serial killers, how did that kind of a role, that kind of story took a toll on you?
The fact that Rafael Tovar exists and went through this entire ordeal, carried that with him beyond the case, after the case was closed, beyond even Gacy's execution. It was kind of a defining period of his life. It really truly defined his entire life. I was really kind of intrigued on taking on this role because of the mere fact that he was just human and kind of like the mundanity of his heroism. I've played other characters that are kind of super heroic or super villainous or whatever the case, but generally invulnerable. And I loved how invulnerable this guy was, and how he needed to rely on his wife, who was also a police officer, needed to rely on his colleagues, needed to try to lead and lead from the back and be as involved as he possibly could, not only in the investigative elements of the case, which for the most part we kind of cover all in the first episode, but to really how involved he had to be in the excavation of the scene, but also in the pursuit of discovering and identifying the 27 young men and boys who were in the crawl space, but also the 6 that were also in the Des Plaines River. So
yeah,
his whole life became about, he had this crusade to restore the humanity to these people, and we get to kind of continue his work in this show by the way that we handle a lot of the kind of the stories, the vignettes that we tell about the victims in the show.
Yeah. But how was it like building that tension that is there between you and Michael's character? Because I know it stems from real life, but somewhere getting that on screen, how was it for you too to kind of build that tension between you?
Yeah, no, that's I think it was, what's interesting is on screen, yes, there's a lot of that tension and animosity and kind of disdain for this guy.
Yeah.
Off screen, we couldn't have been better friends and brothers, really. Going into the show, we have a mutual friend, Paul Walter Hauser, who also played a serial killer in a show, and he, when he found out that Chernus and I were going to work together, he reached out to both of us, trying to just kind of have an early kind of rallying moment between us. And but one thing, he did have a word of caution about preserving our mental state, protecting ourselves. And of course, Chernus had a lot on his shoulders, but we kind of went into it early and just decided that we were going to be each other's tether,
Yeah.
or just tie ourselves to the reality of our lives and our families, and because to live in the world of this show for any prolonged period of time starts to deteriorate some of your yourself and
Uh,
your constitution. But so we
yeah.
were actually really good friends, and all the animosity you see on screen is just him
Yeah.
being a great
For
actor and me
sure.
responding to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, but I have to ask you that I'm sitting here in India and talking to you about this show, and it's because content is kind of reaching globally today. And you have experienced that kind of global fandom with a lot of your projects before as well. So, how do you see it, the kind of unification that content is bringing today across the world?
Oh, I am I'm kind of honored and thankful to have connected with people, and that's the ultimate goal. You just want to connect with people, and the fact that it happens on a global scale is, kind of it was increasingly rare for a moment, I think, but once with this transition into these formats and these platforms, with Peacock and all the other streamers all over the industry, I think we are we're able to tell some of these stories that, for instance, our story that we're telling here. This is a 50-year-old case, and this is well tread ground. Many people have told this story, but there is a approach with our show that is specific to a lot of the unsung heroes and the unheard voices of this case, and so we get to kind of enlighten people across the globe and introduce them to a lot of these ideas and a lot of these stories that we may feel here that are, kind of in the zeitgeist or generally known. Yeah, we get to kind of disseminate that across the globe, and that's
Yeah,
it's still kind of mind blowing when you think about it.
yeah,
That you and I
true.
are sitting here and having
Yeah,
this conversation, but
yeah,
yeah, it's I think it's a privilege. Anytime anything you do can connect with other cultures and people across the world is yeah, an absolute blessing. I still freak out that people even know who I am in Morocco or Brazil or
yeah.
wherever I'm at. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're enjoying the stories we're telling.
And Michael, firstly, welcome to India. A big warm welcome from all Indians to you. And
Thank you.
I must say that the show looks so gripping and intriguing. Like it's got us all on the edge of our seats. And I have to start by asking you, like, getting into the mindset and the whole thinking of John. How was that? How challenging was that for you? Did you kind of discover something so dark that maybe it took a toll on you as well?
Yeah, it's a great question. The thing that kind of helped guide me was he himself, John Gacy, talked about there being multiple Johns, multiple versions of himself. John the contractor,
Mm.
John the politician, John the family man, and then the bad guy, the evil guy. And so
Yeah.
thinking of it as this person who has these different masks, these different personalities that they put on depending on who they're talking to or dealing with, that was a real way in for me. Knowing I didn't have to play the totality of him all at once. That in a way it shouldn't appear evil very often. We only see the mask drop and see the guy behind it here and there. But that he's doing all these other personalities to kind of just blend into society and seem harmless and seem um, just like a friendly neighbor. And so that was
Yeah.
helpful for me to not have to go to the dark place all of the time.
Yeah, but was it also like a bit surprising to see? Because when we talk about killers or any criminal, we think about them in only in the evil sense of the evil things they're doing. But somewhere he has that charm. He's a normal uh, homebody or like a normal man out there. Somewhere that kind of also intrigues you.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's scary about a number of these serial killers is that they are living amongst us. They are sort of
Yeah.
hiding in plain sight. And he's the epitome of that. He's the perfect example of that. He was not only he was not hiding. He was just out there in plain sight. He was trying to fit into normal society, and
Yeah.
he was very involved with like local politics. One of the things that people always associate with him that the media kind of got wrong in the 70s was that he was a clown. And so people think that he killed people dressed as a clown. But
Right.
actually, it was just another way that he tried to ingratiate himself with normal society. He'd go to like children's hospitals and parades. And it was more just another way to seem harmless, to seem totally safe. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to ask you, like today I'm sitting in India and talking to you, and
Yeah.
we are talking about this show that is taking on globally. Today, content has kind of surpassed any kind of barriers, be it language, borders, industries, anything. And you have been part of such projects who have gathered that global fandom, be it Spider-Man, Severance, so many of it. When you see the content reaching globally, does it kind of gladdens you to be a part of the industry at this time where you are not limited by your language or country?
Yeah. It's a very exciting time, I think, to be an actor and be in the entertainment industry where we have these platforms like Peacock where the streaming does reach a global audience, and you make choices and act as an actor, I think, based on that responsibility that you're reaching people all across the world. And so with this story, I was very conscious of the fact that we are also trying to shed light on some of the victims and their stories before they ever crossed paths with John Gacy, and just trying to retell this story in a way that wasn't done when he was arrested in the 1970s. And so um, I do want to kind of spread this larger message to people all across the world. And and thank you for bringing that up. I really appreciate uh, you speaking to me from India and all the people in India watching. Yeah.
Yeah. And we are watching a lot of you in all the other things that you are doing as well. So there's so much love that comes to you from India.
Oh,
Have you ever planned to come here and kind of visit the country?
I've always wanted to. I've never been, but now I definitely have to come. I didn't know I had so many fans, so I'll be there.
Yeah. But is Indian films or like Indian film industry something that you would like to kind of dabble in and kind of get a grasp of someday?
Maybe I'm so impressed by the Indian film industry, but I've kind of got my hands full here right at the moment. But you never know.
Yeah, and I think that would be very exciting. And I think we would love to have you in India because there's so much love out there we have for you, and we would love to get a chance to express it in person. So I hope we get that opportunity soon. But
Well,
thank you
I'm
so much.
feeling it right now. I'm feeling it through the airwaves, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michael, and wish you lots of love and luck for the show and everything that you do. And can't wait to host you in India soon.
Great, awesome.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.